So in this video, we're going to dive into exactly what that title says, why you can't squat in the downswing. So by the end of this, you're going to know exactly why and exactly how to do it too. So I'm Jonathan Chan with JChownGolf. Let's dive right into it. So absolutely, you're not wrong in wanting to work and get this squat into your golf swing. We see all the top players do it to some degree, and why that is because it's a very powerful move and it gives you kind of more effortless power going through the golf ball. Because when we're squatting, we're lowering down towards the ground. That's putting a little bit more force into the ground, so then we can spike it back up through, creating a little bit more speed without us trying to going through the golf ball. When we go down, the ground is going to push us back up again. We won't have to try to get back up. Very important thing to have in the golf swing if you want to hit the ball far. But why loads of you can't do it? It's because of two things. One is your perception of that squat. So we're going to dive into these in detail. And two, you're missing out a very important technical part here. And it's actually got nothing to do with your lower body. So let's dive into it. So the main reason to why you can't squat in a downswing is actually your upper body movement and technique in transition. So you might be thinking, well, what has this got to do with my lower body? I want to squat with my lower body. I'm not doing it with my upper body. But what you do with this will have a major influence on how you move your lower body. So see here, I'm going to get up to the top of the backswing. I'll do this in fairly slow motion. If my upper body now stays too vertical, I'm not putting any force down into my legs, so I'm not going to add to my squatting angle in the downswing. The upper body staying far too vertical. We'll see a lot of players do this, and they'll be swinging quite a bit on the inside as well. If your upper body stays more vertical, your hands will naturally drop down a little bit more, and you're going to swing a little bit out towards the right. So, upper body. What's the opposite to that staying vertical? Getting more flex, going more down. So if I now start my transition and feel like my upper body there is lowering down, you're gonna see what's happening. I'm squatting. Yes, that's exactly what we need to do. So if I feel like I'm lowering down, going into more of this forward flexion as I'm starting my downswing, then I'm going to create that squat. So I'm not necessarily saying doing it via throwing the shoulders over, doing that, creating an over-the-top movement, because I know a lot of you will be thinking that. I'm more saying as soon as we're starting down, getting that upper body to lower down. Look at my chest. See how my chest is still pointing at you as I'm lowering more down? So that's not going to cause me to swing over the top or anything like that. But that upper body lowering is causing now my lower body to lower. Because obviously this has got weight to it. So if this is moving down, it's got weight to it, your legs are going to try and brace for it, aren't they? They're going to go more down. So that's you getting your squatting movement. So a great feel for this is because I don't want players just to squat straight down like this, so get into the top of their swing and just go down, because now you've got an issue of, well, how do I get forward now? I can't. I've got to try and push off somehow to get myself moving forward. You're most likely going to fat the golf ball. So if you've watched my other squatting video, you'll see how I talk about left side going more down. So keeping your tilt you've got at the top of your swing, especially with your hips. But if you're feeling like your upper body is getting more on top of your lower body, getting closer, crunching down on top of it, you are lowering that upper body, but you're also keeping your tilt and getting your pressure into that left side, which will then be helping you get your low point forward and striking good golf shots. So this is more of a feel rather than a drill here. I want you to really feel like the middle of your chest is getting lower and on top of the left leg. Now that's a feel here, guys. That's a feel. We wouldn't necessarily see our upper body do this, but we have to feel like it is to be able to get that forward movement with the movement down, which is functional squatting, which is what you're going to see here. So middle of the chest getting on top of the left leg, getting down on top of it, not just on top of it in a lateral sense, down on top of it every single time. When I'm doing that, what's happening? I'm squatting every time. So let me hit a ball and you're going to see a decent amount of squat. So there is another reason to why you can't squat in the downswing. And that's because you're expecting so much squat than what's actually achievable. It's your perception, like we said. So with your perception of your squat, you need to minimize it. You don't need to squat crazy. You don't need to go this amount down. A lot of you are kind of expecting to see that. But you've got to remember, if you're going that much down, you've got to go an equal amount almost back up again. So that's going to be half the time. So one, you wouldn't even be able to get there anyway. You don't even see the best players in the world squatting down to the amount you think you can squat. So remember, it's just a little lowering move. It's just a little bit. Just putting that force into that ground so it can spike back up, just a little bit. Don't need to go and obsess about getting this huge squat. I've had loads of students who are obsessed about getting a massive squat, a lot like how a lot of people obsess about getting a lot of lag. Little bit's good, little bit. So once you get the technical part of it, focus on the upper body. Your lower body's gonna have a much better time. It's gonna react, it's gonna do what you want to. And then get your expectations in the right place. This is gonna apply to everything for the golf swing. Get your expectations in the right place, and then you're gonna have a much better time in getting this movement. And obviously now you can see why you can't squat in the downswing. So if you enjoyed this video, click that like button. If you want more golf instruction just like this, hit the subscribe button. Of course, hit the bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video. So if you do this, guys, you're going to be squatting better.